That shit is garbage, man.
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
I cannot believe this shit.
So it was April 6th, 2014. Brock Lesnar hit Undertaker with the fourth F5 of that match. Covered him, pin, 1, 2, 3. I was dejected. The crowd was in awe. I felt like the world stood still. We look at the screen, it's 21-1, and the streak was over. That's what it was. The streak was over. It's the same feeling when the credits started rolling on Eternals. I said, the streak is over. They made 25 critically acclaimed movies.
Critically acclaimed.
Good to great. Thor Dark World to Infinity War and everything in between. Never once having a stinker in there. Never once having a, ugh, you know? And we got one. Eternals came out this last week, and we saw it in the most prime, wonderful time to see it. Friday night, big theater, mostly packed, 7:40. The Marvel crowd is there. Anticipation is building. And then 5 hours later, when the movie was over, jeez. I don't know what to say, man. I am beyond disappointed at this. I am beyond upset of choices that were made.
Yeah, the choice that we made to go see the fucking movie.
So I want to get into this. I want to address two things real quick, and that was what the last video that we've uploaded on here, I believe, was our preview of Eternals. And you got to realize that video was filmed weeks ago, so it wasn't, it was released, the day it came out, but that was filmed weeks ago. I had two main concerns with this movie. I said, you know what? Number one, too many characters. 10 brand new characters, different names. It's just not going to work. Even if you give it 3 hours or 6 hours, however long that movie was, if you give it that, following 10 characters is not going to work. A good chunk of them are going to get screwed over. You're not going to get their backstory. They're just going to be filler. And I didn't want that. And sure enough, that was the problem. We had 10 characters. And you know what? My biggest thing was I thought it was going to be hard to remember their names. Honestly, their names are actually kind of got easy because they had to say it so many times.
Yes.
Like they repeated their names over and over again. That part actually, I think it saved itself, but it absolutely happened the way I thought it would. It's 10 characters. We've got paper thin stories about most of them. And then I'll use a good example of Gilgamesh. I actually really liked Gilgamesh. I thought he was cool. He was strong, had a cool name. Got none of his backstory, had no idea who the hell he was. They tied him to Athena, or Athena, whatever her name was. And then he was the first one to die.
They thought that he was going to be the Wong of the damn movie.
Yes. Hell no.
I tell you what. They thought, and I don't know who the hell thought this, that they were going to put all these high-profile actors into this movie and it was going to be a blockbuster hit.
Yes.
It turned out to be a big-ass dumpster fire. A blockbuster piece of shit is what it was, guys.
Legit dumpster fire. Absolutely.
2 hours and 40 minutes of boredom, of dialogue.
Endless dialogue.
Bro,
endless dialogue.
This could have been an ebook, bro. You know what? Eternals probably would have been good if they would have made it a Disney Plus series and gave Hawkeye his own damn movie.
Yeah.
And they decided to put this damn movie out, bro, and I'm sitting there, man. I'm dying, bro.
Yeah.
I literally wanted to walk out.
Yeah.
And then the post-scene credits were just absolutely trash, bro. Yeah. We're expecting, bro, when Thanos opens up and he puts the gauntlet on and says, fine, I'll do it myself. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Yes.
My goodness.
That was early hype on that, too.
When Winter Soldier is in Wakanda, and they say the White Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Winter Soldier. We know who he is already and everything by that time.
Yeah.
But we're excited to see him still alive, and he's getting a new arm, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like,
legit.
at the minimum. But what are we getting, bro? What?
So I will say, so I'll take a few things from what you said. One, it absolutely needed to be on Disney Plus. There's no way you can follow 10 characters, even if you give them 4-hour movie or what, you gave them the longest MCU movie to date. I think this was the longest one. You gave them the longest MCU, but you just can't do that with 10 characters. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how acclaimed your director was, you cannot do that. This needed to be 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And we needed to see...
Minimum.
Yeah, we needed to see each one of these characters. And then we could actually give a shit when Ajax dies. Like, oh no, Ajax died. Okay, well, I've known her for 4 minutes. Who gives a shit?
Nobody gave a damn when she died.
Yes.
It was just, bro. Watching this movie, man, I've never been bored watching an MCU film.
Absolutely, yeah. So to its detriment, which I actually thought was going to be its strength, is it's going to separate itself from the MCU and kind of establish itself. It ended up being to its detriment because it connected so little to all the characters we know and care about. It was just a minor mention at that one dinner scene where it's like, oh, since Steve Rogers and Tony Stark's, who's going to lead the Avengers? And I'm like, you get them out of your mouth. You don't talk about the Avengers.
Bro.
You've been around for 500,000 years. You don't get to talk about the Avengers.
And their powers were weak. They didn't have like amazing powers. This guy looks like them. He's shooting lasers out of his eyes. She runs fast. We've seen these powers before.
Yeah,
There's nothing unique about what they're doing.
You brag about Icarus being the strongest. He literally had eye lasers. That was his power. Like, so what's different than that than the repulsor beams coming out of freaking Iron Man or the lightning from Thor? They did a bad job establishing that. They could have established him being a lot more powerful. They could have established how he even got those powers in a Disney Plus show if they would have gave us 6 episodes and we could have done that. But no, they're going to cram all this into 2.5 hours.
You told me you were kind of irritated by the having to read the captions of the deaf girl all the time.
Yeah,
but that might have been a good thing because if she was talking, I definitely would have lost it. That was 9 people fucking talking. Imagine 10 people talking at once, dude.
That was true, but it was a little distracting. I had to look down and go back up again.
It just sucked, man. I mean, the storyline sucked. I thought I was going to see Galactus. It turns out this guy is not Galactus. He's another dude that I haven't heard of.
No,
I'm not saying that I'm a Marvel genius or a Marvel. I'm just super knowledgeable about every character of the Marvel and the comic books and the storylines. Yeah. But, dude, at least have us familiar with. Don't just bring out the most random people like they do is the Suicide Squad, where they just like grab the most random people. Polka Dot Man. I love Polka Dot Man, by the way.
I love him, man. Yeah, he's great. I'm totally on board.
Put him in that damn movie. Yeah.
Well, I will say this. You know what's funny
Trash, bro.
Eternals kind of bought itself like a gap to prevent it from being criticized because it got negative reviews, and a lot of it had to do with that really obnoxious man-to-man kiss. That they got banned.
God, bro.
So here's what's funny is they're like, oh, that's why all the haters are coming in and downvoting it. Let me tell you something, Marvel. The man-to-man kiss was probably the 28th worst thing about that film. So let's talk about the first 27 because you know what? That wasn't the worst thing about the film. That was just unnecessary. And I bring that up for those 2 particular characters. We're talking Eternals that have been around for thousands of years. I guess were created. Because that's how they kind of made it. It's like
they weren't even like humans. They were they're like robots.
They're like robots. Okay, so why the hell
they're
is
androids?
Why is one gay and why is one deaf? Why? I spit all over the place. I'm sorry.
That's so good.
I'm getting worked up. But yeah, it didn't make any sense for who they were. And by the way, I did the research. Phantos, who's the big guy, the gay guy, he's not gay in the comics. There's no even mention of it.
They had to do it to please. They didn't want to get canceled.
Yeah. So it's like, and believe it or not, Lauren Ridloff, who played Makara, she actually is deaf. So, okay, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
I'm okay with that.
That's
it's
cool.
weird that her character is deaf, but then you just make one randomly gay.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was the 28th thing wrong with that movie. There's so many other things wrong with it.
That scene made me uncomfortable, bro. Not just because I had my kids with me, bro, but that was not necessary, dude. Like we could have made him. You could have got that idea, that notion off without that physically making out. And then that was the first time I've seen people make out on the MCU movie because on the other scene where what's the main chick's name?
That's Circe's.
Circe made out with the guy, like they were kissing. Next thing you know, they have their clothes off,
Yeah.
and you can see her kind of getting hunched. She's like, I'm like, dude, they're robots and they're getting pumped.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I mean, it can't be that damn good down there.
Well, you know what's weird? They said that was the first MCU sex scene, and it was the most PG sex scene you'll ever see. It's just two people topless on top of one another for about 7 seconds, and that was it. So,
Well, you said there was 28 things other than that one scene that was bad,
Yes.
and I can think of one, and that was just the damn movie itself.
yes,
That movie was trash,
that's,
bro.
That's number one.
We're sitting there waiting. You know, when certain MCU movies come on,
Yeah.
we have a little bit of action just to get us on our toes right away.
Yep.
Infinity War, you see the ship, you see Thanos, he's got Thor's head,
Yeah.
you see the Dark Order, you're like, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not even really fighting, they're just talking, and that dialogue is awesome. This movie, listen, man, I wish I had a Sleep Number mattress. You feel me, bro? I would have caused. I was looking around at people,
Yeah.
and they were wiping their eyes, yawning, and then
Yeah.
looking at it. They were conversating with one another.
Yeah.
That's how much of the movie sucked, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? The humor was there, and it's MCU humor, but it wasn't landing
No.
like other movies make. Like it was hard. Like Kingo was obviously the comic relief. I called that, by the way. If you look at the other video, I said he's going to be the comic relief.
And his valet.
And his valet, I said valet was actually pretty
Very
hilarious.
good.
That guy is every Indian guy that I've ever known. That's him. But he was supposed to, he's the thing. And he had his little quippy one-liners, but it's like,
Yeah.
it was not hitting like it was supposed to. Because, you know what? He was funny all the time, and all the other characters were not funny, so when they tried to be funny, it came off weird.
Yeah, I did.
I also made a mistake. I said Sprite was actually a boy whenever we did the preview.
I thought you said it was a little girl.
I said, no, if you actually listen back, I said he is, and I started describing it. It was actually a girl.
She's a girl that actually
Yeah,
comes off as a 12-year-old or a youngster.
Yeah, well, apparently she's a girl either way. She's just a girl. That's what she is. But she's like Tinkerbell. She's like,
She doesn't age.
yeah.
Okay.
And she kind of had a
She's a
haircut
robot.
like a boy, kind of dressed like a boy. So I'm like, okay, well, that's where I was.
And in the part where she stabbed Cersei or whatever.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, they become friends again, and she helps them. I'm like, bro, this person just tried to kill you, bro. Like,
Again, if you had a whole episode on Disney Plus, you could have
Yeah.
made that make sense.
Yeah.
It made no sense in the 5 minutes you tried to cram it in there.
and then they try to throw in that action scene where everybody's fighting each other
Yes.
and they're trying to keep each other. It's just, and then they link their brains together. I mean, I was just like, this is too much, man. This is way too much.
What's a shame is we are sitting here and we're watching an Eternals movie. We can't get a rumor, any kind of rumors or a picture or even a hint of X-Men, and they own the X-Men rights. We get a working logo for Fantastic Four. These are the films that people want, but we have to sit through an Eternals movie that I can't think of anybody that would want an Eternals movie. I didn't want it. I didn't know the characters when it was first announced. But we took Marvel at and said, okay, it's Marvel. Marvel will make it work. Nobody knew Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel made it work.
Yeah.
They
really made it work.
This was garbage. This was garbage, and I blame it on Chloe Zhao. She should not have been in charge of this movie. She should not have decided to make this the kind of movie it was. She didn't have the chops for it.
Yeah.
She's directed 3 more movies than I have. So she wasn't ready to build this and have this these characters that nobody knows about.
Call Kevin.
Yes.
When
Kevin,
you need a Marvel movie done, call Kevin.
please.
Or the Russo brothers or somebody. Call somebody, bro.
Yeah, so the post-credit, and here's the thing, I steer clear of all the spoilers. I didn't see anything. Even when all the bad reviews were coming in, I was tempted to look at spoilers, and I didn't. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to trust this. I'm going to get this with my own eyes. And I was told, oh, end credit. It's going to just blow you away. It's going to change the landscape of Marvel. Bullshit. Worst post-credits ever. Let's break them down one at a time. First one.
Oh, God.
First, we get them. So it's the remaining. It's I gotta go back to these names. It's Makara. It's Makara.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Dana, and it's Druid. So there's basically the last Eternals next to Circe, but the last Eternal.
They fly away in space in this fucking triangle.
That was weird too. Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And the other ones got I don't. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting way sidetracked.
Yeah. What happens?
So
in the ship?
okay, post credit, they start getting. Oh, I feel it too. Okay, hype's kind of building. We got a dark hallway. Anybody could walk down that hallway. It could be Thanos. That would be amazing. It could be
Oh, God.
freaking Spider-Man. I don't know. That would be amazing. So we get this little Pip the Troll guy coming out. Nobody knows how to react.
Pip the Imp.
Pip the is that what it is?
No, I'm just calling him that.
Okay,
Pip the Troll.
Pip the Troll comes out. Nobody really knows how to react because we're like, okay,
Who
we
the
don't
fuck-
know this guy.
No, it was who the fuck is this?
Yes.
It was-
And it's like, I don't know how to handle this. This is weird. And then out of the darkness, We get
A Jonas brother.
one, not a Jonas brother. We get Harry Styles from One Direction
Oh yeah.
as Eros, which is also known as Star Fox. Now, this is the one that I even told you this. When he made his appearance, there was just gasp in the audience, like it was the most amazing thing. I'm like, bullshit! You don't know who Star Fox is. None of you know who Star Fox is.
I don't know who Star Wolf. None of these
No.
motherfuckers are.
If it's not Star Lord, I don't know who it is.
Yes.
No, it's like, no, you don't know who this person is, so get out of here. And it was just, oh, let me help you. I know how to find them, and then cut away. Bro, I don't know who you are. Nobody knows your Eternal characters. Nobody knows that. If they were just excited it was Harry Styles, then fine, that's cool.
You can't just walk up with a cape and
Yeah, and get some reaction for that.
So we had to do some research to figure out who that was and to figure out who he's related to. On the spoilers, I did see like Thanos mentioned, so I was like, I didn't want to go any further than
Yeah,
that.
I saw the same thing.
This is a big disappointment, man.
Huge disappointment.
know.
If I'm not saying that our opinion of the movie would be any different, but man, if Thanos walked down that hall,
Oh my god.
unbelievable.
From
I
a
think
different timeline or
Yes.
some universe? Oh my god.
crowd would have went nuts. I would have went nuts. I would have said that's amazing. So
In a tank top and jeans. I don't care what he was wearing, dude. Before they gauntlet.
back from vacation.
I would have saw Gamora or Nebula. I don't care who it was. Shit.
Could have been one of Hawkeye's
Rocket
kids.
Raccoon, if all I cared.
Yeah.
Then what happened after that?
Okay, so we got the post credit. This is the
one we
mid
waited
credit
for.
and post credit. Yeah. So we get I'm trying to remember his name. So
The guy from Game of Thrones,
Game-
Jon Snow.
Kit Harington. So he's Dane Whitman, and Dane Whitman is actually a character. He's the Black Knight. Do you know who the Black Knight is? Of course you don't. Nobody does. But he is shown the sword. You did some research on this. Is the Ebony Blade. I guess it's insanely powerful. There's a lot of characteristics about the blade that I don't think they're going to use in the MCU. Like it can absorb anything. It can slice vibranium. Anybody can wield it. It kills. It sucks souls. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like okay, they can't use all of that.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of Mjolnir. They said
Yes.
so. It's like it thrives on negative energy.
So he opens it up and it reveals the sword, and then you hear the voice saying, like, "Are you ready to do that?" Whatever.
Are you sure you're ready for that?
Yeah, and it turns out that was an uncredited voice cameo appearance by Blade. Mahershala Ali, that is his name, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And here's the thing: so we had to look and see that was his voice. We had to look that up because, like, I heard his voice, had no idea who it was. This would have been the time. It should have been better if he would have walked in shot. If we cut away and it's
If the
him.
like they did in Endgame or Infinity War when they turned
Yes.
and they showed Captain Marvel.
Yes.
After she got beeped, it was just like they were looking at Black Widow and Captain America, and it just like went to her. That was like the way
Yes.
the camera pan was awesome.
That would have saved that
In
one.
full uniform
Yes.
with a blade. Oh my god.
Or put him in a suit with glasses and have him sitting on a chair or something.
Yeah, like Fury.
Like,
So-
yeah, you didn't have to, like
Fury.
if you don't have his costume set right now, which you're filming Blade, you have to at least have that. But like, do that. Like his voice, it didn't add anything to it. We had to like look it up and figure out even who that was. Like if we could have seen just a little glimpse of him, it would have been badass.
If it was Wesley Snipes' voice, we would have known. I'm serious, we would have known.
would've, yeah.
You know his voice.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that was man. I can't believe we waited. Like it felt like eternity waiting through those credits just to get to that, and it was disappointing.
And even building that hype, and then and then it says Eternals will return. I'm like,
Please do not
please
return. Don't waste my time again.
Like, what is that going to look like? If when Kevin Feige steps up on D23 and does his announcements and everything, it's like, oh, we're going to get Eternals 2 coming out. Like, do you really think the crowd's going to get hyped for that? They're going to get booed. Nobody wants that.
I won't get that. I will never get that $70 back, bro.
Hell no.
You know what? We need to email Marvel about this shit, bro.
So
So Fame City Podcast. We went out there. We showed up. We showed love,
Absolutely.
and we came out there. We paid what we weighed. And we were let down, man. Millions of people all over the United States and the world were let down.
Absolutely. I will never, ever watch it again. Never again.
I told you I second that notion.
Yeah.
I don't, bro. When it comes on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Shang-Chi because I do want to see Shang-Chi again on Disney Plus. It comes out on the 12th, by the
Okay.
way.
Sweet. Nice.
So I'm now just by me saying that I just literally dated the fucking.
Oh, well.
It comes out in November.
Sometime in November.
But I'll see Shang-Chi for sure.
I will absolutely.
I will
watch
never.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you this and tell the world this and then watch it behind your back. I'm not watching Eternals again, bro.
No way. I will never.
And
ever
if the video game comes out, I ain't buying it either.
So I will say, at least placement of Eternals is it got lucky because you know what? In a couple weeks we're gonna have the Hawkeye series,
Yes.
and then in a month we're gonna have Spider-Man. So this movie is going to fall off the planet, and it's going to be done in a couple weeks, and
I will.
no one will ever talk about it again.
When this podcast is done, we're gonna forget about it. But I tell you what, when Spider-Man comes out,
Yes.
we're going Thursday night. We need to go like Thursday night,
Absolutely.
not Friday.
I agree.
What do you think?
No, I'm totally on board. I agree.
All right, are we wrapped up with this shit?
Yes.